Visit patreon.com/tiltedtripodmedia, become a member, and support the future of video. This episode of Urbex is brought to you by the Mervyn Super Sale, going on now through Saturday. Open, open, open.
Hey, where are you? Mervyn Super Sale is back.
I'm here.
Just in time to save on men's Windridge shirts and kids' Oshkosh shortalls.
I can't believe I almost missed it.
Don't miss saving 60% on all fine jewelry, 14-karat gold, diamonds, and sterling silver.
Well, I didn't exactly almost miss it, but I am only 4 hours early.
Save throughout the store during Mervyn Super Sale starting Saturday, 8 a.m.
Open, open, open.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Urbex. Today's journey brings us to the Tri-County Mall in Springdale, Ohio. This mall used to have a really cool feature inside of it, and I managed to find a clip of it online from quite some time ago. Well, 2011. But anyways, I'll be showing you that sometime during this video, so you'll have to watch the whole thing to find out what it is. The Tri-County Mall is located at the interchange of State Route 747 and Interstate 275 in the city of Springdale, Ohio, which is a northern suburb of Cincinnati. So I visited Tri-County during a very snowy day, and it shows in the video. We got about 1 to 2 inches during this storm, and right now you're looking at the very large customer pickup area at Sears. I found it really odd that this Sears had such a large drive-up area where you could load your previously purchased items. Most Sears don't have these. It's usually just a small area with a door. So right here you're looking at the exterior of the Sears Auto Center and the main Sears store. It is now currently closed. It closed about a year ago. And if any of you grew up in the Detroit area, you might remember the Livonia Mall. Well, they had a Sears that looked almost identical to this one, and I have been inside this one and shopped in it. I just didn't know that it was closing, so I didn't get back in there to film it before it closed, unfortunately. This mall was proposed in 1956 by Jeffrey Lazarus, who headed the Cincinnati-based Shillito's department store chain. This looks like it might have been a Ruby Tuesdays or some other restaurant. I'm not quite sure, but let me know down in the comment section below if you know what that used to be. Tri-County wasn't always known as Tri-County. It was originally called Tri-County Shopping Center, and it was the second open-air type mall built in the greater Cincinnati area. The first being Swifton Shopping Center, which opened in 1956 in the Bond Hill district of Cincinnati. The ground was broken for the $25 million project in July of 1959, and the grand opening took place on September 26th of 1960. At the time, Tri-County Center was an open-air mall of 52 stores, anchored by Shillito's and Cincinnati-based Pogues. There was also a Kresge's 5 and 10 dime store and a Kroger supermarket. The center was fully enclosed by 1968, with a third anchor being added, Sears. The new anchor was added to a new southeast wing, and the mall was renamed to Tri-County Mall. I absolutely love this Macy's store. It's one of my favorite. The vintage aesthetics on it are fantastic. I love the glass walkway that takes you from the parking garage all the way into the store without being outside in the elements, and something really kind of strange you may have noticed earlier in this clip. There is actually a train track that runs right next to the mall, and you don't see that every day. When I visited this Macy's, it was fairly busy, and it's usually really busy. It's one of the more popular Macy's in the Cincinnati-Dayton area, mostly for the fact that it has the very unique Macy's backstage in the basement, or the lower level. And the backstage is sort of like a bargain basement kind of thing. It does have major brands, just like upstairs. However, they are heavily discounted, and it's actually most sale-related things in a department store are very chaotic and not very organized, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that even after all these months, the backstage is still very organized. Macy's is doing a fantastic job with their backstage department. I mean, just look at all the people shopping and in line. Hopefully, other department stores will take notice and follow in Macy's footsteps. I tried getting a shot of the long line at the Macy's backstage without being noticed, and I failed, so you'll just have to trust me when I say the line was really long. The mall was expanded again between the years of 1989 and 1992. This project added a fourth anchor, McAlpin's, and a second level of retail which was built on top of the first level, which I think is really odd. I've never seen or heard of a mall that built a second level after being opened, which is kind of weird. Right around the time of the 80s-90s expansion at Tri-County Mall, things began to go downhill. Now, if you travel out west on the 275 loop, just 2 exits down, there is the infamous Forest Fair Village, Cincinnati Mills Mall, Cincinnati Mall, whatever the hell you want to call this thing. I don't know, it's had so many name changes, it's ridiculous. But it's so worth visiting, and I highly recommend you visit it. I will do a video eventually on this place. I have all the footage. At the time of this recording, it only has like maybe an arcade inside of it and the Kohl's attached to it, and I think it still has the Bass Pro Shops outdoor world thing. Anyways, and then if you travel another about 10 minutes on the 275 Loop West, you'll come across a small mall called Northgate Mall, which I will also be covering. And I think just being close to these malls and just over-malled in the area, Tri-County began to fail. So if you look in the back of this shot, you'll see a brown storefront. That's actually a brand new Mexican restaurant that was added in 2019, and I will be reviewing it later on in this video, so don't click away. Keep watching. Here's a shot of the front of Mi Cozumel, which I will be reviewing later on. In 2010, Tri-County Mall became one of the many malls in the U.S. to ban teenagers after designated hours on Fridays and Saturdays. And in July 2013, the mall was purchased at a sheriff's sale for $45 million by American Pacific, an Oregon-based investment group. So I have been to several malls that have implemented this underage policy, mainly the Eastland Center in Michigan and a Westfield Mall that was in the Toledo area. Now, the one in Toledo actually does have a crime issue. It's a very upscale mall, but that's why they have tons of security guards walking around, and I always feel like I'm being scrutinized for everything I do, almost like I've done something wrong even though I haven't, and it's not really such a great feeling, so I always avoided that mall at all costs, which is a shame. And the Eastland Center, I ended up going there, and at the time, I was only 17, so I was underage, and I'm used to walking around malls all by myself, and they told me I had to be with my mom and go find her. That was a little annoying, being I don't cause trouble, and I'm used to being in crime areas, so that didn't bother me either. Now, when I visited the Tri-County Mall, I didn't come across one security guard. I was left alone. The people were friendly, the shoppers were friendly, the store owners were friendly, and I had a wonderful time and a wonderful experience. This spastic rainbow sign gave me a chuckle as it flashed off and on. This was the Disney store, and I love how it's frozen in time, transporting you straight back to the 90s. A lot of dying malls now seem to have this place called the Amazing Space, a little tiny arcade. I know the Westland Mall in Westland, Michigan has one of them. And this store, I believe, used to be a Things Remembered. This sign brings hope that the mall might be in a bit of a revival. If you'd like to read this sign, just pause the video. I'm not sure if this used to be a restaurant, but if anyone knows what it was, leave a comment down below. I believe this was the entrance to the former JCPenney, but I was not able to find information regarding this, only that the JCPenney closed in 2005. I absolutely love all these skylights throughout the mall. This has got to be the world's largest barber shop ever. I mean, it's ridiculous, it's huge. I'd like to know in the comments down below if anyone knows what this used to be. It looks like it was some kind of a music or entertainment store, like Suncoast, if anybody remembers what that was. Let me know down in the comments below. This Cafe Express sign is really cool. I love the color scheme. I just wish that the neon was in working order. So currently the food court was closed, and I'm not quite sure what they're doing other than the fact that they're relocating it somewhere on the first floor. I have no clue where they'd have room for this or where they're going to put it. Maybe by the children's play equipment on the first floor, or that new entrance they built not long ago, the glass entrance by the Cinnabon. I really don't know. I did get a chance to talk to one shopper in the food court that was sitting just taking a break, and he expressed how sad it was to see the food court closed and that he really enjoyed shopping at this mall and wishes that it would come back to its former glory. I have to say the same. I miss this food court and everything it has to offer. Hopefully the new one they build downstairs will be just as grand. So I visited this food court a short while back and came across a really cool chili Coney Island hot dog restaurant that had really fabulous food, and I was sad to see that it's not even in the food court anymore. I don't know if it's completely gone or whether it will be relocating to the first floor with the new food court. I really hope it returns. I want to thank everyone who's still watching this video. I knew that when I filmed this mall that it would be a really long video, and that's because I wanted to document every inch of this mall and preserve it for future generations. So for the remainder of the video, I'm not going to do as much talking. I'm just going to let you sit back, relax, enjoy the music and the sights and sounds of Tri-County Mall. And I'll chime back in if I find something interesting to tell you about, or an experience that I had, or just some of my thoughts. So at this point, if you'd like to skip to the end to see that feature I was talking about in the beginning of the video, you may do so and enjoy.
Whispering soft to luring signs, wrapping you around my finger, gently touch, full of spell, blinding you into another, sneaking around, hunting prey to find me.
Ooh, look you guys, mall plants. And they're actually real this time.
An empty space, we're in a secret love encounter.
It's sad to see another store closing in a once great mall. Unfortunately, this is located in the Sears wing, and the company as a whole isn't doing very well anyway.
Mine that I leave behind.
So right here you're looking at the Sears Corridor, and most of the stores are empty, gone, and vacated, and I believe that this is why they want to move the food court to a different location, and that's because if there's no stores to draw people down to that end of the mall, and there's definitely no anchor as Sears is gone, then people aren't going up to the food court and buying food, I would have to take a good guess that since there's no draw to this end of the mall, a lot of people don't even know that there is a food court.
Save your breath, don't waste your words. I'm gone before the night is over. Don't lose your faith, keep it straight. I'm not like any other.
So what you're looking at right now is the brand new addition to the mall. They finished this in about 2014 or 2015. I can't really remember, but I do really like it. It's very spacious and open and lets a lot of natural light in, and it's a great place to relax after a long day of shopping. I believe the closed storefront at the top of the escalator used to be a family fun center or a theater, but I'm not quite sure. There wasn't much information on it.
Take what's mine and I leave behind. I'm a lonely heart feline.
So this is the Dillard's corridor, and down there you can see that's the former Dillard's entrance. It is quite fancy inside, and I did manage to get a peek inside. They're using it for the Mega Mommy sale, which is like a mom-to-mom sale if you're familiar with those. So this brings us to the jewel of the mall, or rather what should be the jewel of the mall, the center court. It still has the amazing skylight, and I really do love it. It's so huge and lets in a lot of natural light. Unfortunately, the jewel that would have been below this massive skylight has been replaced with a children's playground, which isn't as grand. This is the Forever 21 store that moved out recently. But back to that center court, it used to have a massive fountain that was absolutely spectacular, and that is the special surprise that I had for everyone at the end of the video. So you may fast forward if you haven't done so, and take a look at that. It's absolutely magnificent. Ugh, this Cinnabon smelled so good. Immediately upon entering this corridor, you are hit smack in the face with that cinnamon gooey smell, and it is amazing. Don't forget to stop by and grab yourself one of those famous Cinnabons while you're at the mall. It is super, super delicious. This is the main entrance to the mall, and it's also part of that new renovation that happened right around 2014, and I think they did a fantastic job. It's absolutely beautiful. So I've been to this mall a number of times since the renovation, and I never noticed that odd light-up sign. I'd love to come back here and see it at night, and I'll have to check it out. At the time, I thought it might have been their logo, but it's not even their logo or their symbol. It's just some random shape. Welcome to the Mi Cozumel Mexican Restaurant. I was thrilled to see this brand new Mexican restaurant moving into the Tri-County Mall in early 2019. I visited this place twice, once on opening week and then again about a month later. I absolutely love the decor in here. This Day of the Dead statue is super cool, and the staff was very friendly and attentive. The food was moderately priced and super delicious. There are some pictures of the menu if you'd like to pause them and take a closer look. I will definitely be coming back to this restaurant in the future. I had a beef enchilada, a hard beef taco, and OMG, that chorizo was absolutely amazing. I loved it. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to YouTube content creator G6128 Dujet. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I stumbled across this footage when I was searching for some Tri-County footage just to kind of see what was out there, and I was super thrilled to find this. It's not the greatest footage ever, but I'm super thrilled that it exists, because now everyone can see the magnificent fountain that used to be in the center court and has now been replaced by a children's playscape. Sit back, relax, and enjoy one last look into the past at the Tri-County Fountain. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining me here on this very, very long but very amazing and in-depth look at the Tri-County Mall here on Urbex. Please hit the big subscribe button, smash that bell icon, and become a part of the notification squad. Oh, and one last thing before you all go. Please head over to my Patreon account and help support this channel so that I can continue creating videos for you, my amazing viewers. As always, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you again in the next one.